Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So Ethereum is still working here on its impulsive pattern to the upside, which is sort of what we expected. But let's first of all take a look at where we're coming from. So yesterday we talked about the potential of the low already being in for Ethereum. Now at the current stage, this is still only my secondary scenario. This is not my primary one. Primary one remains that we are going down further. Simple reason for that is basic TA. We haven't made a higher high. These are significantly important structural levels here, the 1255 level, wave A and wave C that you can see here. For me, very, very relevant, and I'd like to see the price action go above it. For now, we can see here on the hourly time frame a first impulse evolving. Now, of course, the higher the time frame, the more meaningful it is. Now we can currently count this first impulse on the hourly, which is okay. You know, it's not too meaningful, but it of course is a start. So we obviously came down. This was the 880 level. $880 was one of the target levels I gave you. The thing is, you can calculate various targets based on different Fibonacci extensions. This one was reached. We made a lower low in this wave 5 compared to that wave 3, which is important. And here in blue, the wave 5 also came below the wave 3 in blue. Now, all of that added together indicates that, yeah, there is a good chance that the low for Ethereum is in. It is not, in my opinion, not yet more than 50%. The reason for that is that I would still want to see the break of the price above 1255, and I want to see the wave 2 complete, or the ABC complete, which I don't see yet. But at the moment, there's a good chance that we're actually in the beginning of an uptrend. So this is starting to look promising, but again, it is only my alternative scenario at the moment, but I'm sketching this out for you for various reasons. One reason is a lot of people are possibly interested in it. The other reason is that I told you all along, as soon as I see a first impulse emerging, then I will make you aware, because this could be the turnaround. Now, as I said before, the low, calling a bottom, is not just one price point. It is a process. What we need to see is obviously that lowest price point, but we also need to see confirming price action to the upside and the beginning of a new uptrend. Otherwise, it is impossible to call a low. And there's obviously the decision that every investor or trader needs to make. Do you buy as low as possible, but then you risk that you are not, but then you risk that the price could even drop lower, or do you wait for confirmation and have only a limited risk that the price could drop lower? That is sort of the decision everybody needs to make. And yeah, we have moved up already in an impulsive move up to, in this move up here in 5 waves. So we could really say that the low has a chance that it finally is in, because all the waves that came down here were finished. So we can count all of these different degrees of waves as finished. Now, there's usually always a possibility to extend another layer of waves if we have to. For example, what I counted here as in yellow, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. Now, while that is a 5-wave move to the downside, there is no guarantee that this 5-wave move completed wave 5 in blue. It could just be a first wave again of that 5th wave in blue, and that is what we don't know. And you will never be able to know this in advance. It is all about probabilities and about looking at the entire price chart or what happened recently, and then come to make an informed decision, really. And it's all about probabilities. And at the moment, I can tell you as well, it is a very risky environment, because at the moment we are not yet in a confirmed uptrend. Strictly speaking, we are still in a downtrend if you take all of this, because we have not made higher highs. We have not taken these highs out. But what I'm telling you, we see a first spark of a chance that we start to move up from here. And this today has worked out so far. We've made this 5-wave move to the upside. Already made you aware about that yesterday. And then we came down in a wave A. What I would see as a wave A, we moved up in a wave B. And in my opinion, we're now coming down in a wave C. Now, this means that this 5-wave move up in yellow can be understood, first of all, as a new wave 1. This is basically the first impulsive wave up. And down here, we can, this ABC, when the C wave is in, this would be a wave 2. And the wave 2 would normally get here into this price region highlighted in yellow based on the Fibonacci extension levels. And you can see that based on this. So this is the area. Let me just make that a bit more accurate. Getting a bit larger, just make sure we don't do it from the wrong price points. Yes, and you can see that this is located, this retracement for a wave 2, what you would normally expect, is located between $1,017 and $938. Now, we already, the first target for the wave C, as it is coming down, is actually the low of the wave A. So I'd be looking at this level as well, $1,049. But for me personally, in a wave 2, in such a pattern, you would normally expect this now to be an expanded flat pattern, which means because this wave B came up quite high, so we made a wave A to the downside, a wave B which did overshoot the previous impulse, which means it's an overshooting wave B, which means what can come down here is two options: a running flat. Running flat would mean the wave C ends above the wave A, and an expanded flat would mean that the wave C ends below the wave A. Now, an expanded flat is much more likely than a running flat, and therefore I have to go with this probability. So at the minimum, I would expect the wave C now to reach the 38.2% Fib level at 1,049. If it goes lower, 1,016, 984 and 938. These are the key support levels in this yellow target area, and somewhere here I would expect it to turn around then in a bullish scenario. Yeah, if we are following this bullish scenario into a wave 3. Now, I cannot yet tell you how high the wave 3 would go because we cannot yet see the wave C is finished. Yeah, it is not yet visible to us. Now, we can also recognize the possibility that this here, even though we can't really see a clear 3-wave move, but there might be a chance that what came down here, what I have labeled as the wave A, that we have here already seen an A, B, C. So we need to consider the possibility that this move is already finished. Yeah, I don't find this very likely, but it's possible because we reached a 38.2% Fib level. Now, I don't think that is very likely. If that is the case, then the wave C isn't going to finish here. It will go higher already in the next impulsive move up because the ABC was already finished here at the low. That means what I have labeled as wave B now, which is be a 1, we're now coming down in a 2, and then we make wave 3 up. But primarily I expect what you would see on this chart. Now, this is my primary expectation in the bullish scenario. Just to say it once more, the bullish scenario in itself is not yet my primary expectation. I primarily still think that we are going lower, and I have to, because we have not broken that AC line up there, which is for me a very important structural high. Yeah, had a few questions about this impulse and the correction down, because I usually say that when we have a low, then confirmation that we are starting a new uptrend is obtained with a first impulse and a first corrective move down. So that is true, yeah, but it's always a question of likelihoods. So we've seen now a first impulse up, absolutely. We're now possibly seeing a first corrective move down. Now and then, when we then start again, that is a good entry point generally, in my opinion. No financial advice, yeah. But because it is so early in the trend, I personally would always then use a stop loss because it is still so early. It is so very early. Bear in mind that we are now on the 1-hour chart, so we can see this as an impulse, and let's say we see this as a correction. What will happen then is that this here was a wave 1, this was a wave 2. We are then moving up in a wave 3, coming down in a 4, moving up in a 5. This then would obviously be another 5-wave move. So the first impulse we are seeing here is only just forming the first wave. The ABC is forming the second wave. Now we would then enter, after that second wave, a third wave, coming down in a 4th, moving up in a 5th. Then all of that will again be corrected in an ABC. And I can tell you that the higher the time frame, the better the confirmation. Yeah, and everybody again needs to decide for themselves what is sort of the risk I want to take. So you could also wait for this 5-wave move to complete and the ABC to complete and jump into the next one, right? Because this is just what it is, right? This is just how it works. Now this would be a wave 4 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, so it wouldn't come down that much. And then you would enter in the 5th wave. Then you have another 5-wave move up. Yeah. And this is how it then builds. And the higher you go and the more impulses up you have, the more corrective moves down. The higher, the better the confirmation, that the higher the likelihood that we are breaking out. And to be honest, for Ethereum, I mean, if I go on the daily chart, I'm very honest with you. I need to tell you that. I mean, look at this significant swing high here. If you go onto the daily chart, ideally, you want to see the $3,591 break, yeah, in order to unlock much higher prices. So this is also another structurally important level. So just because we see a few impulses doesn't mean we are definitely starting the new uptrend, but it's all about likelihoods. It's all about likelihoods. And the structure that is now happening will tell us more about what is going to happen next. Now, as I said, we can carefully say that we are already starting an impulse. Anybody who wants to trade it, what you can do, and I'm not telling you to do it, but what you can do is wait for the price to dip into this yellow target area if it does it, because there's never a guarantee. It's all about likelihoods. When it goes into the target area and starts to turn around, that might be an entry point. Another possible entry point for a long trade would be here above 12.55. If we break above this level, that's a structurally important level, and I guess there will be some volume that comes in if we break it. Using the Elliott Waves gives us an additional layer of security, in my opinion, because you have a better understanding of in which direction the trend is actually going, and if we really have a change in trend. Okay, so at the moment, as I said to you, we have a chance, the best chance probably that we had, or that we've had for the last 6 to 7 months, because it's really me for the first time considering it. Before that, I've always told you that we have to come lower, especially with Bitcoin. Yeah, we haven't reached it yet, that target. Well, we did now. And now it's really that juncture where the market is deciding. And it's a very exciting juncture because we can see the first impulse. But also need to tell you today, obviously, the US market is closed. So there is little volume. I guess tomorrow we will know more. Okay, so hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.